Madam Mayor, we are live.
Thank you. Welcome. I'd like to call to order the Community Redevelopment Agency meeting at 5:16 on June 1, 2020. Ms. Burkowski, would you like to call roll?
Mayor Lake.
Here.
Vice Mayor Hart.
Here.
Councilman Brown.
Here.
Councilwoman Kelly.
Here.
Councilman Peoples.
Here.
You have a quorum, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Are there any public comment cards?
I have one public comment that has been asked to be read into the record.
Okay.
Mr. Sean Hubner from 5005 Immokalee Road has emailed, I support the funds being spent on the Freedom 5K, especially since all other 4th of July ceremonies have been canceled. I do not support money being spent on a downtown Wi-Fi system. $120,000 could be spent to have a large presence of Clay County deputies in our community year-round, or it could be spent to help provide a substation. Thank you, Sean Hubner. That's all I have for public comment, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Under agenda item 1A, $1,500 for July 4th 5K run. As you all remember, we have been approached with an event application for the 4th of July 5K run, and we approved that application. She has come back to the CRA to ask for money for security. And so we talked about this in Budget and Finance, and we're bringing it to the CRA for discussion. There's some concerns from staff about our ability to control the crowd if we are the only event in town, actually in Northeast Florida for 4th of July. So we wanted to bring this to you and talk to you about the event itself and the funds for security. Mr. Brown, do you want to start us off?
For one, when we discussed this, I was all in favor of this and still in favor of it. But the job we have as public officials is public safety. And as long as that's met, I think we should go forward with it, but only if that's met. And we're assured that we don't go above the $1,500.
Okay.
My fear right now with everything else going on is how many deputies are they going to require them to have? Are we going to, is it going to be over $1,500? So, and this is like within weeks of doing this. So, does anybody, the staff know that, you know, where we're at with public safety with this?
So, Madam Mayor, if I may,
Yes.
Part of the conversation was part of the conversation between you and I was possibility of a plan to be worked out with the Clay County Emergency Management. And I have spoken to the Director of Emergency Management. He said that he is absolutely fine with sitting down with the city and Ms. Collins to help create and approve a plan that will affect, or that will help protect the social distancing in whatever stage we're in at that time, if the council or the agency chooses to move forward. Ms. Collins is on the line as well to speak to this, Madam Mayor, whenever you would like to address any questions.
Sure. I want to go through council first and give council an opportunity to chime in. Vice Mayor Hart, do you have any concerns if we allow this to go forward?
Given the current state of things, which I hope are much improved by July 4th, I think we have an absolute obligation to provide some security. I agree with Mr. Brown. I don't think it should exceed $1,500 just because of the current financial situation that we're in.
Okay. Mr. Peoples.
I agree with everybody. I think that we should have the event no more than $1,500. I think since the Our Country Day is gone, I think the race would be a good thing for the town.
All right. Mrs. Kelly, do you have any thoughts?
No, I agree with them too.
Okay. So from what I'm hearing, there's a consensus that we allow the event to go forward, providing that Ms. Collins meets with EOC and Ms. Rakowski and devises a security plan that ensures that whatever phase of reopening we're in, that that plan meets that phase.
And I would add, if I might, that I want to see something in the record in the minutes showing that this is only for security and for no other purpose.
Okay, thank you for that, yes. Ms. Collins, does that mean with your satisfaction?
Hi, thank you for having me to speak. So, yes, as far as, you know, moving forward and whatnot, that meets with the satisfaction. At this point in time, I've received approval from the sheriff's office, and I have submitted the permit to the FDOT for approval as well. So at this point in time, there's 5 officers that have been indicated for the event. But with the 1,500, I believe that would, if it's similar to the Christmas parade, that would pay for up to possibly 12 to 14 officers if necessary. So I couldn't imagine that they would need more than that, because the portion of the parade that's on 21 is just the 0.1 of a mile right there in front of City Hall. And the race the race timers assured me, you know, that we can meet any kind of social distancing requirements with a stage start. And, but I'm happy to sit down with the EOC. At this point in time, the conversation is about funding, because the event was approved, and FDOT has continued to give out permits. They haven't stopped. And I understand that, you know, the current state of full phase 1, but it, optimistically we would be in full phase 2 by the 4th of July. So, but I'm happy to sit down with the emergency management and Ms. Rutowski at the earliest possible convenience. That is the critical criteria at this point, that, you know, we would need to do it. This week would be optimal, if possible.
Okay, Ms. Rutowski, do you want to make that happen?
I will get in touch with Mr. Ward and find out what his earliest time to meet is.
Okay. So is there a motion to approve the $1,500 for the 4th of July 5K run?
I move that we approve up to $1,500 for the 5K run, the money to only be used for security.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve the $1,500. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, motion passes 5-0. Thank you, Ms. Collins, for working through the details with us. I appreciate your patience.
I appreciate the support of the council, and really hoping we can do this for the community, because I think it would be, you know, a wonderful thing for everybody's spirits. And I do truly believe that we can do it, you know, safely as well. So thank you all for your assistance and consideration.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Item 1B, Beach Improvement Aesthetic Grant. Budget and Finance has discussed this item, and the CRA does have enough money in its budget, in its account, to continue with the beach improvements. Ms. Wachowski, would you like to give us a rundown of the items we're looking to replace or improve?
Absolutely. So under, as Mayor Lake said, we have $10,000 in the aesthetic grant, which was originally talked about lights strung downtown, and then we had talked about Edison lights down at the beach. The conversations that I had was that with that $10,000 and under the aesthetic grant, we can greatly improve the beach. Start with fairy lights wrapped around the trees, replace all grills, and do the repairs needed to make sure that our beach is properly taken care of, and that those funds will come well underneath $10,000. And also, I apologize, and also the new lights at the beach, those similar to the ones that we have back here at in the natural park and at the theme park.
Mr. Brown, did you want to add anything else from Budget and Finance?
The only thing is in doing this, it's really going to give the beach a real bang, and especially with the new streetscapes coming, and it's all going to flow, and it's going to just look good. And I'm a true believer in keeping that place lit up for several reasons at night. So, and the lights that the staff picked in the back of the city hall are awesome. I mean, they light up that whole place back there. So I'm in favor of going ahead with the $10,000.
Any questions or concerns from other council members about VNS recommendation?
No.
No. So is there a motion to go ahead with spending the money, or do you just need to generally give you the okay to go ahead and spend it because you already approved the budget?
Already unallocated, but in the budget, is that correct?
It would be allocated under the $10,000 line item.
I don't know if a motion is necessary, but I move to approve this.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Awesome. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, motion passes 5-0. We do now come to the downtown Wi-Fi, and it is Budget and Finance's recommendation to give direction to the city clerk to pursue research on the Wi-Fi zone. While $120,000 was cited, I've had subsequent conversations with Ms. Rakowski, and she's done a little bit more research and found that it might be just a third of that or a fourth of that. And so I wanted to read to you from this. The idea came from the Vermont Council on Rural Development, and I wanted to give you a little history on what a Wi-Fi zone is. It helps downtown areas create public Wi-Fi zones for a number of reasons that involve around economic development, including the ability to promote local businesses on a splash or landing page, the attractiveness of free Wi-Fi to tourists, the fact that having this kind of connection signals to outsiders that a town is forward-thinking, and finally, the opportunity for those who might otherwise not be able to have the internet at home, whether this is because there's no option for fast connection or whether they simply cannot afford one, access to the internet from a broad area. And we discussed it in Budget and Finance. And I think Mr. Brown finally has come around to the idea of a Wi-Fi zone, especially how it impacts our local businesses. And with the regrading of the road, I think if we pull all these things in together, the city has done its very best effort in helping our businesses stay afloat and be very prosperous. Any more comments from you, Mr. Brown?
Do we have an exact amount of money that's going to cost, and how much is it going to cost us every year after that?
So, Madam Mayor, if I may.
Yes, please.
What we're asking from the agency tonight is direction to go ahead and move forward with this project. There are several different options, and there are several different cost tiers, if you will, and benefits for what each one will give. It's going to be a lot of homework and a lot of conversations, and so we were just looking for consensus of the agency. I apologize. Consensus of the agency to go ahead and move forward with this project, that this is something that the agency would be interested in implementing downtown.
I'll open it up for questions. Any questions from council?
Most people have cell phones, and when you don't have Wi-Fi, you can get on the internet by other means. I'm just wondering how much this would actually be utilized by the business people, and there might be some businesses that wouldn't even need to use it. I would think, given our possible budget constraints for the next several months, we might want to just put this on the shelf for a bit.
I spoke to a business owner yesterday from downtown, in the downtown corridor, and he said to me he's worried about this because it will bring homeless to Keystone Heights, knowing there's free internet. Is there a way to shut this off at 11 o'clock and turn it back on at 8 o'clock in the morning instead of letting it run 24 hours a day?
There's all kinds of controls you can put on a Wi-Fi zone, and whoever is keeper of the server where it's being hosted can put those kinds of parameters on it. I will share with you that Lynn and I have talked about this sophisticated vision downtown for not only blanketing it with Wi-Fi, but also having security cameras and so much technology that it's going to be really impossible to commit a crime downtown and we not know who it is, what time it happened, and where we need to go to find the person who committed the crime. So I think this is more of a phased-in rollout. I don't think we're going to do the entire downtown at one time. Lynn and I have talked about doing from the library to City Hall to the Keystone Beach as an initial phase to make sure it's up and running in a very efficient way. If it's not running in an efficient way, we will come back to you and tell you it's not running in an efficient way. But if it is working and we find people are using it, then we say, okay, what's the next phase? We're going to take it from City Hall up to maybe Compass Bank, and then we'll ping the signal across the streets from business to business on up downtown. So it won't be a blanket. We're not looking at it as a blanket project, but a rollout.
And Madam Mayor, if I may just piggyback on that comment, one of the agencies that I have spoke to are those who installed our security cameras, as well as the Sheriff's Department. This kind of technology within our downtown is going to make putting more eyes in our downtown core much easier. Those are all conversations that we can extend on, and ultimately this tonight won't be a decision on whether or not we're going to put a Wi-Fi zone downtown, but just to start those conversations to bring it back to the agency for consideration.
So is there a consensus? How are you feeling, Mr. Peoples, about it? Mr. Brown?
It depends on the cost, like Steve said. I think that has a lot to do, contingent on cost. Yes.
I don't have any problem if staff continues to research this. I think that's probably a good thing. We may not be quite ready to do it right away, but at least we'll have the information so that when we are, we can go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
I also agree with that. Is there any small towns or communities in the state of Florida that have this?
I haven't researched it from a state of Florida perspective. I researched it based on the type of equipment that's needed and the cost of that equipment, but I have not researched if Florida has a rural Wi-Fi zone, because this is where this is coming from. There's a rural program.
Well, I too this afternoon was on the telephone for a little while with a couple of concerned citizens because of the same thing Councilman Peoples was talking about, bringing people in, and the taxpayers of the city are going to have to pay for this in a roundabout way. And then you got everybody, like I said before in our other meeting, you got all these other people coming into the city and hanging out using the Wi-Fi, and the city taxpayers are probably the ones going to have to fork the bill for all this. So that's a little bit of heartburn for some of them. But I do agree that it's something new. We need to do a little bit more investigating on it. I definitely would like to see if anybody in the state of Florida or even South Georgia, somebody close enough other than Vermont that's doing this, so we can kind of get an idea of how's it working for them.
Well, I can pursue that a little bit and see if there's anyone more local to us. The elements that you speak of, I don't discount, anyone's feelings that might bring in people you don't want to have in your downtown. I really feel like if we put together a cohesive security and technology package, that we will ensure that our local businesses have the best opportunity to attract visitors to downtown after the streetscape project. I really feel like that's the focus. It's not the people coming in, it's the businesses having more people to do business with us. And so that was my focus.
And Mayor, I don't know if I said this in our other meeting, but has this been approached, and I know we haven't had meetings with the
Correct.
Business Association and stuff, but has this been approached to the business owners of how they?
No, we had agreed some months ago to have a business forum, and then COVID-19 happened, and so we haven't been able to bring them in and share that kind of plan. I hope to be able to bring them in at some point and get their feelings on it, but I also think we need to be talking from the perspective of here's what it is, how much it cost and how we would roll it out. So if we could continue doing the research on it when we can gather, I do want to bring businesses in, or at least conduct a survey and go door to door and ask them questions about or concerns they have about it. So we will definitely take them, bring them in, but it is focused on businesses and making it easier for them to advertise their businesses downtown.
Yep.
So, Ms. Lynn, was that enough? I think we got consensus there.
I'll continue to work on this project and bring you the agency options in Mare Lake. We'll have conversations behind the scene to figure out the direction of which we want this to go.
And I'll look for a Florida town that has done something similar.
Thank you.
And with that being said, one of the benefits is that we're going to be the first in Clay County, so there, don't discount being the first in this.
Yeah. All right, so I need to go back to my agenda here. So item 1D is Labor Day Meet Your Neighbor celebration. As community, as all of you know, we weren't able to host Meet Your Neighbor in May. So Lynn and I have tossed around the idea of moving it to Labor Day weekend, maybe combining it with the fireworks that we weren't able to have on the 4th of July. So we bring this suggestion to you and we open it up for discussion. How do you all feel about moving it to Labor Day?
I think it's a good idea. It would be the last major holiday of the summer. It would end the summer. And, Meet Your Neighbor Day is flexible. I mean, considering the situation we've had. But I think the people would enjoy seeing the fireworks in Labor Day. So I like it.
I do too. I like it.
I agree.
Me too.
So another request I've gotten from families that I've met, especially at the food distributions that I've been working, is families want a movie night. And so I'm wondering if we can also look forward to hosting a movie night, especially after we get the beach improvements down at the beach. I think it would be fun to host a movie night. Are y'all in agreement with that?
Absolutely. I think that's a good idea also.
Could we combine two concepts, the movie and the neighborhood, do the same thing or both things on the same day?
Yeah, let Lynn and I discuss it with staff and see what we can come up with, and we'll bring it back to you in July.
Okay.
Is that all right? Is everyone okay with that?
Yes.
All right.
Madam Mayor, if I may, then is it consensus or do I have a motion to go ahead and put together a bid for fireworks?
Hold on a minute. Where's the money? Where did the money go that we gave to Our Country Day for the fireworks?
That is back in our account.
Okay, so if it's budgeted, we could use that.
That's $7,500. Now, I understand, and Madam Mayor might be able to speak more to this. The fireworks show, I believe, costs about $15,000. Is that correct?
Well, we donate $7,500 for the fireworks.
Yes.
Our Country Day normally kicks in $3,000 to $4,000 additional for a show of about 12.
Okay, so about 12. Then I know that one year they added additional funds into that. So if there is, we have the money within the agency's budget to do a fireworks show. But with that coming on Labor Day, that would be something that I would have to put that together quickly.
I'm no longer on TDC, but I know that Our Country Day did put in a request, and I think it was granted, for some money towards the fireworks.
Yes.
So the money coming from the county as well, from Tourist Development Council.
And the TDC has, I've spoken with Ms. Morgan, the TDC will honor those requests as long as the event has been pushed back at some time. They will not honor those funds that have been allocated if the event is canceled. So I don't know what this would look like, but we can have those conversations.
And I think this would be in the same fiscal year that they have, so I think we're okay.
Vice Mayor Hart, would you like to reach out to the TDC and see if we would be eligible to apply for those funds to go towards this event?
I'll call Ms. Morgan and find out what the status is.
Okay, awesome. All right. Is there anything else that come before the CRA? Any other business, any other comments? Ms. Lynn, do you have anything else that you need from us, from
So,
this agency?
Is there a motion to go ahead and go out to bid for fireworks? And if so, what would be that financial cap?
Okay, so do you want to keep it at the 7,500 that we budgeted?
You're gonna get a bang for 7,500, but a bigger bang with everything we've gone through. I'd make a motion that we find the funds for at least $12,000 with the 7,500 included with that $12,000.
Wow.
Does that make any sense?
So the city would be willing to kick in up to $12,000 inclusive of the 7,500 we've already budgeted.
Right.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, motion passes 5-0. Ms. Rakowski, if you go out to bid and find a comparable show that we're used to, say, 13 to 15 minutes of very high quality fireworks, and it's more than that, will you get back to us very quickly and let us know that?
I absolutely will. So I'll look at our purchasing guidelines, what our bid process is going, what the least amount of time for our bid process is due to these funds, and I'll report back to the agency
Okay.
so we can move this along.
Anything else for the good of the order? All right, seeing no objection, meeting is adjourned at 5:41.